We have mic stands.
We're slowly building back up.
We're starting to resemble a podcast again.
Slowly.
Somewhat regular recordings, mic stands, mics. I got headphones. Who knows? This might be a thing. Well,
Until it's not. Until we get bored.
until it's not. Yeah, right. Until we get bored.
Anyway.
Well, until that point,
Yes.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Devil's Due. I am your host, Mr. Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who tends to heat up around the corners.
Yes. Sure.
And causes all sorts of rancor when he says the word stop. Mr. Drew Celestino.
Twas a game night, sir. We're back.
A game night.
And for those rules and whatnot, to heat the board game, not the Michael Mann film.
No, which is a great movie.
Yes. Yeah. I'm mad about that.
Well, it was first time playing
First time playing a game. As you might expect, first time playing a game doesn't always go swimmingly well.
Yeah.
So them rules were not super clear, and it got frustrating, especially after every explanation it seemed to change. But I digress. We're good. Did not win heat. Did win the first game.
Sea Salt and Paper.
Sea Salt and Paper, I won.
Did you enjoy Sea Salt and Paper?
I did. Now that I understand the mechanics better, I did enjoy it. I did not enjoy it as much as Scout.
Scout is great.
Yes. Anyway, here we are again. Kind of like it's a thing now again. Kind of. Slowly.
Yeah.
Getting back into the spirit of the thing.
Yep.
Even though this is more not the spirit of the thing that we used to do. It's more of a new kind of freeform.
Right.
Whatever thing it is now.
We're just spending an hour on the couch. Gonna try and keep it tight.
Tight.
Hour and a half at the most.
Yes.
So
spoilers. We're keeping it tight.
Yeah. But again, we put out the signal, and again the listeners responded in kind. So thank you very much. We're gonna get to that. Oh, you know what?
Oh,
I should probably check the email.
Yeah, well, since we're putting it out there again.
Yeah.
Even though the socials are...
socials are good.
Boy, right when I was about to bail on Facebook, people are writing in on Facebook. Go figure.
Yeah. Nothing in the email.
Oh, good. So I have to keep the Facebook. Yay. Lucky me.
The email, which is thedevilsdupod@gmail.com.
Oh, you remembered.
I'm reading it. So yeah,
good.
So if you want to email us there, or you can message us or post on our Facebook page, which seems to be the preferred route people are taking. So hey,
ironically, but yeah, sure,
it's immortal.
I don't want it to be, but hey, man, however you get in touch, I suppose.
Okay, so before we get to the listeners, how was your week, sir? It's been about 3 weeks since we recorded last.
Yes, it has, but don't let that make you think that anything has drastically happened or changed.
Still abiding, still just kind of maintaining.
Is this what life is after you turn 40 something and have kids? Is this it? This is it, huh?
No, I don't think it's it. I think there is longer downtime between noteworthy events. You kind of settle in more to a routine, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Because, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think, a lot of times at this point in life, you have the freedom to explore different pursuits, if you like, hobbies and whatnot. I mean,
really?
Well, you got to try and make the time. It's yeah, I know. Hey, listen.
I'll get on that making time thing.
Listen, I used to time I used to make for like doing Lego sets now goes to painting. So it's sometimes you got to move something aside to make room for something else. But I mean, it's definitely not a bad part of life to get in. It feels partially in a weird kind of way. It almost feels earned. I mean, and you can take that as either good or bad, but it's our own decisions that brought us to this point in life, for better or for worse. And I know for myself, at least, I've gotten pretty lucky in life. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that, you know, I never thought wife or family was in the cards for me. And, you know, obviously are there restrictions that come with that? Yes, but there are restrictions I gladly make for, you know, to have those things. I mean, it's the stuff like we've talked about with Alan before. You know, Alan has the freedom to do a lot of things that we can't do. Like Alan, and I'm not saying this is like a negative thing at all. Like Alan can spend all night playing video games if he wants. You can go to like, you know, Alan's very big into Magic, and you know, that's not something we're into, but appreciate the fact that he likes it. So like, given the game stores in the area and what their schedules are, if Alan wanted to, he could probably go play Magic most every night of the week. And that's fine. That's cool. But like, you know, we have things that in our lives that keep us from doing stuff like that. Yes. But I feel that the things that we have there are keeping us from doing that stuff, bring their own rewards and their own comforts and realizations. So, you know, I'm okay with it.
All right.
I think if we feel truly passionate about something, then we make the time for it and we do it. For example, you and I sitting across from each other again on
we're back here doing this.
Like what time is it right now? It's 11:39 on Friday night.
Sure.
So we still prioritize like games and doing stuff like that.
We have time to give you you all a contemplative conversation about life.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's exactly what I want this to be.
And you're choosing, if you're listening to this, to engage with said conversation. So, hey, thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right.
You want to just get into the listener stuff?
Sure. The longer I dwell on anything too interpersonal, I'm just going to get darker and darker. Since we have switched seats, I don't want that to happen. You're the dark one now, sir. I'm the beacon of sunshine.
Which was brought out even more during Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. Let's get into topics of conversation.
All right.
If I had bump music, I'd play it. We don't have any, so it's fine.
Should we get some bump music?
No. Do I look like I have time to make... I just got done passive-aggressively lamenting my lack of time to engage in musical pursuits. I don't have time to make bump music for us. I'm sorry.
That's fair. All right. So our first thing came in earlier this week from Danny Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia. Yes.
You will call him by his passport name, the Rainmaker, Dan Lehman.
All right. He messaged us on Facebook Messenger. He said, if this is Carl running the show, running the account, just show Drew this image during the next episode. I want the reaction. I loved. Well, all right. Let me show you the image first.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Since this is an audio medium, this is a still from the recently released trailer to Venom 3.
And since this is an audio medium, my collective shrug was palpable. Sure.
I loved the first Venom mainly for Hardy dialing it up and going full zany. The sequel, not so much.
Is that what he did? Okay.
Okay. Hey. Venom films, not so much for me. I'm guessing they're not for Drew. So
I saw the new trailer and I'm like, oh, we're still doing that, huh?
Yep. So
Tom Hardy speaking in an indecipherable accent. is still a thing in 2024. Thanks, Chris Nolan.
Hey, Danny's enjoying them, so I'm glad for Danny. Okay, so
Danny. Go on. I'm sorry. I've never called that man Danny in my life. I've known him for 25 years.
All right, so I'll call him Daniel or Dan. He will be called Dan. Dan from Street Fighter.
He's gonna say something about this, and I'm okay with that. I love you, Dan. You are missed.
He's gonna say something that means engagement.
Yeah,
because that's all we want, right, Drew?
Sure, that's the name of the game.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so some of you sent some questions for our last recording. We didn't get to them. We apologize. I made sure when the possibility of recording arose to get the message out earlier last time. So
let's go rapid fire, baby.
Those of you we missed last time, we apologize.
You gonna get to them now?
No.
Oh,
well,
right under the bus they go.
Because a lot of people sent in stuff, and yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Okay, fine. I'll go back. I don't even remember what we answered the last time. Okay.
It's
all right. Okay. Brian Stone.
Yes.
X-Men 97 was actually worth the wait.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of that conversation going. So
let's put X-Men 97 to bed. We both like X-Men. Yes. Looking forward to season 2.
Yes, X-Men 97 was great.
4 thumbs up between the two of us for X-Men 97.
Sure. I can get into details. Perhaps there'll be more questions about that later. Yeah. So yes, go ahead. Yes.
Good stuff. Adam Williams, which comic book character would you equate to Josh Allen?
Which comic book character is the most golden retriever-y? I don't know. That's an interesting and amusing question.
I'm trying to think of a character that people think is a lot better than they actually are.
Oh, boo you. Get out of here.
I'm sorry. I just say what I see.
How dare he be number 2 to the guy that's number 1? Oh, no. How dare he?
Is he even number 2?
Yes, he is.
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. Well, statistics don't know either. I'm sorry. You told me earlier that statistics and facts don't matter to you. So,
yeah, they really
don't. You really have turned into my old me.
I'm going by what I see on the field. And
I'm going by his numbers and statistics.
Okay. Numbers and statistics.
Yeah, measurable things don't matter. Yeah. Numbers. Who needs that?
I don't know what I would equate Josh Allen to. I'm not saying he's bad.
No, he's terrible. No, he's the worst.
Everyone's
he's
just
absolute dog poop, Carl.
Everyone's like, "Oh, a Super Bowl winning quarterback." I'm like,
no one ever said that because he's not. You just said he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Did I hear that right?
No, I said
who said that?
I said everybody is saying he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, like he should be winning Super Bowls. I'm like, if he should be, then he would.
Unfortunately, Carl, there's 31 other teams that also want to win. They're not all going to win.
Don't give me the argument he didn't have anyone to throw to. Patrick Mahomes just won a Super Bowl, and he had like a water bucket and some guy who drove an Uber to the stadium to throw to.
Still had Kelsey, still has a coach far better than the Bills coach.
Yeah, we might need a new coach.
Might. I've been saying that for years. You're the resident hater of the Bills here. I'm more ambivalent.
Here's the thing.
No.
I am not a hater of the Bills.
Yes, you are. You absolutely
are. I'm a realistic
and as
Bills
a former hater Bills fan, I'm with you. But I think you're too hard on them now. That said, Sean McDermott is poo-poo, and I've thought that for a long time.
We're on the same page there. On them as their on-field performance warrants.
No, you're far below that. Because they're much better than you think they are.
No.
Okay.
Thoughts on Dune 2?
Doom 2 is awesome. I love Doom.
Dune.
D-U-N-E. Sorry.
I mean, you can give thoughts on both if you want.
Doom 2 is immortal. Dune 2, I couldn't tell you because I never saw it. I don't Dune.
I don't Dune.
The spice does not flow here.
Given the choice given a chunk of time, that's like someone says to you, okay, you have this chunk of time. You can only spend it one of two ways. Mm-hmm. You can either watch Dune 1 and 2.
It's about 6 hours.
Or you can spend that time playing Doom 1 and 2.
Yeah, I know where I'm going.
And I've passed the BFG.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. And that's messed up because, like, not for nothing, I, as a film guy, I mean, in my heart, I love movies and I love the art of making them, and I love the art of how they are made. And I do love the director, at least in theory. I love the director of the Dune flicks, because I did really like Arrival that he made with Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and it was about alien. But I did not see Blade Runner 49, and then
I've still never seen the original Blade Runner.
It's good. Spoilers. It's great.
I would like to watch it.
It's fantastic.
I understand there are also 68 and a half different edits out there.
Any version you watch is going to be fine. But having said that, like, I felt weird that he made a sequel to a beloved classic film, right?
Yeah.
And
he's talking about Blade Runner.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he parlayed that not into another original idea, but into a remake of an old idea.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, he's mining well-worn territory, like, you know what I mean? And that kind of takes him down a notch a bit for me. Like, as a director, it's like, well, bro, you're not doing new, interesting stuff.
Right.
You're just kind of polishing up something old. Granted, doing it well, mind you. I'm sure. I'm sure, having not seen these films, I am positive that they are grand, epic, beautiful, masterful works.
Yeah.
But a lot of the legwork was done for you on these projects, and you're pardon the video game analogy, you're just remastering a classic in a way.
So,
and that's kind of like,
I agree,
I don't know, man.
I don't, because you're like, when you said he's going over well-worn territory, like, is it really well-worn? Like, we had one movie back in the 80s.
You're referring to Blade Runner or Dune here?
Dune.
Okay. I'll make this case for both of them, Dune and Blade Runner. When I say well-worn, yes, there was one of each of them. However, their influence was staggering. Okay, even Dune being a failure in a way, which, I'll call Dune a failure, the first one.
Yeah.
Never mind that, its influence was still felt and palpable, both as a book and then into cinema. Blade Runner similarly, where, like, the movies were one and dones, but their influence, you've seen countless sequels to those films that just weren't those films.
Right, and I get that, but, like, at the same time, it's like, that thing that was never done right.
Yeah.
The thing that's springing to mind is Lord of the Rings. Like, you had some
Speaking of ways to spend time
you had some animated adaptations early on, and then, like, it was one of those things that was thought to be quote-unquote unfilmable.
Right.
And then they went and made one of the best movie trilogies of all time.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't consider, like, I get what you're saying about the influence. I think I would separate influence from the idea of something being well-worn. So, like, I'm thinking of, like, when you say well-worn, I'm thinking, like, Star Wars.
Well, those are
things.
Those are worn. So.
those are worn. Okay, so top 5 things about Buffalo. We all know how much you love to do top 5 lists.
I hate lists.
I'm going to say the weather, unironically.
Wow. Okay.
We get a variety.
Yeah, I don't need the variety.
I like the variety.
Okay,
good. Say the weather.
Go ahead.
The food.
2. 3 more.
The ease to get places.
That's a solid 3, sure.
Yeah. Like, you can get anywhere in Buffalo and the surrounding areas in less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it is moving forward, there is progress, but it is not a breakneck pace.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm very comfortable with the pace Buffalo is progressing. Going back to our earlier conversation tonight, when things get too big, they just get bad.
That's true.
So
keep Buffalo a secret.
Yeah. And you know what? There's good people here. I like the people. Yeah. There's bad ones too.
There's bad people everywhere.
But I like the people here.
Yeah. Top 5 for me, food being number 1. And when I say food, it's not just like, we have, my definition of food is like authentic, real cuisine. We have that in spades in all different ethnicities in this area. And it's not, copies of copies. It's like familial generational food in this town. And it's all good, by the way.
Yep.
We eat as well as any major metropolitan area does, and we have the restaurants to prove it. And keep Buffalo a secret, but I'm just telling you, we got the goods here. So number 1, ease of getting around. That's an easy number 2. And by the way, my rankings are not ranked. These are just things I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
mine too.
We have big city amenities in Buffalo without having a big city feel, and that's cool. Enjoy it, because it may not all be here and I'm talking pro sports teams, I'm talking touring things that come through town, I'm talking museums and art and culture. We have all of that in a much smaller town than you might expect. So if you take those things for granted, I'm sorry, you shouldn't, because a lot of places in this country do not have that.
Yeah. So you're going to roll your eyes at this.
I might.
I would add our sports teams.
No, I will not. I'm impressed you're adding them because you're such a hater. So, number 4, yes, I'm going to steamer right past you there before you can retort. I said food. I really like the food.
Food's good.
Food is good.
Hey, the Bandits are good. Are you saying they're not?
No, they are, but I just don't care. I'm sorry. Banditland, I'm sorry. I don't care. Have fun. You look like you're having fun. Go Bandits or whatever. Box, that's a thing, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're on the same page. 4, I don't know, man. Like, you said sports teams. I guess that's my number 4. Like, but that's part of like the bigger city amenities in a smaller town. But I'll just single out sports. Sports here are cool. They're pretty cool. We got some cool stuff going on. As long as you're willing to deal with major disappointment and suffering, and
builds character.
Oh
boy, do we got a lot of character.
We got a lot of character. Boy, do we have character. Ask me about the Sabres sometime. Number 5, I'm going to go with you and just say good people. Yeah, we are known as the city of good neighbors, and that's not just it's not just a clever phrase. Believe it or not, like the city can be. Anywhere you go, you're going to have your divisions and your tensions and things like that. But overall, I don't know, man. The vibe here is pretty positive, and I think when push comes to shove, people do go out of their way for each other around here in a way that they might not elsewhere.
Yeah,
I live here. I'm biased, but I do kind of feel that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So to wrap up last week's question,
cool.
From Mr.
Moving on.
From Mr. No, this is the last one from last week. Hey, you're the one that wanted to do last week's questions. From Mr. Nathaniel Lockhart.
We got time.
What is your silliest, most inconsequential hot take? Comic book related or otherwise?
Oh, God. That's one that will require some time to think about. I have a lot of hot takes, Carl, as you might know.
But we need the silliest and most inconsequential.
Silliest and most if I were 20 years younger, I would probably have something off the tip of my tongue that I would just spout off and be, hot takey. As I've gotten older, that edge has mellowed because I just don't have time to care per se as much.
Yeah. Here's mine.
Yes, go.
Peanut butter M&Ms are the superior peanut butter and chocolate combination candy on the market.
Okay.
So I'm not just saying over Reese's Pieces. I'm saying over peanut butter cups, peanut butter bars. For chocolate and peanut butter.
That's your hot take.
Peanut butter M&Ms. S tier.
That's your inconsequential hot take. Okay.
Don't get more inconsequential and hottie than that.
I feel inclined to want to do a food take here because you just did, but I'll abstain. I don't have I got a lot of hot takes. You know me.
Yeah.
I've got takes. Here, I don't know. I don't feel the need.
Your hot take is that Sonic the Hedgehog games are not good.
They're terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. On to...
That's not even that hot. That's lukewarm.
On to this week's questions.
Let's go.
Starting with Mr. Nick Landers. AEW, the good, the bad, the ugly, the epic. Favorite things... Your favorite things they're doing, things you could do without.
Well, that's a whole show into itself with some prep time. I'll just say, look, the perception around the company is down, and I think that's unfair because I think they've been doing well for a while. Unfortunately, the bad things that happened in the past cast a very long shadow, and then said Shadow migrated back to his old job that he said he would never return to, and got put in on a big high pedestal as a result, and then made AEW look bad. And AEW's response to such... Now, again, in fairness, AEW's response to said person was not great.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one thing where, like, you might be right. AEW, you might be in the right here. Unfortunately, in the eyes of... As we found out in the last little while, that doesn't matter. Being right doesn't really matter anymore because perception is reality, and most people have a very distorted perception.
I will say, though, like, when they decided to air the footage...
Stupid.
I was like, why are you doing this? This is so dumb.
No need for it at all.
They kind of, with everything they've done with it since then, I'm like, all right, wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Everything you're doing with Jack Perry.
Yeah, well, in that specific instance, has been great. Jack Perry's been killing it. The whole angle with him has been great. But like, even before that, they've been fun. Ever since they jettisoned Punk, they kind of got it together and have been just doing their thing, doing well, fine. It's anytime TK feels the slight of anytime the ghost of Christmas past comes knocking on his door, he gets, he feels the need to respond, and it's like, dude, you know what? You just don't have to. You have to learn to listen, let it roll. And
I think I agree with you that the opinion on them is down right now. I do not think that it is solely because of Punk. I believe
no, it's not solely, but
they've done a lot to earn that down opinion. I think that I think they're making more strides now to move forward, but at the same time, they're still making dumb mistakes and doing dumb things that are arresting potential momentum. Like if I was to put on a bar chart or something, they would be trending up, but very incrementally.
Okay.
Like for every big good thing they do, there seems to be like a counter to it.
Well,
that, just is like, okay, why are you doing this? What are you doing here? This is not what you guys...
This ain't what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think Tony Khan definitely needs to toughen up as a boss and not just agree to everything that someone comes to him with. I think there's way too many people in the room for creative. Like, they need to streamline it, get it down. Yeah, it's... I don't know. We ate good for so long, and then, like, little by little, the cracks start showing.
Well, okay. The realization I've had in 5 years of AEW is that weekly TV is not their strong suit. Big ticket events are their strong suit. And really, for a fan like me, I still enjoy the week to week, although it's never going to be 2 hours every week of absolute perfection. It's not. I don't care what company it is. That's an impossible goal to attain. But in AEW's case, even more so, it's difficult for them because they don't have a writing staff. Tony's overworked. He's doing too much, and he doesn't delegate. And he's got a roster that anyone would kill for, but he doesn't necessarily know how to make it all work together. Fine.
Right.
So week to week, I can get upset about it, or I can just go like, you know what, the week to week is the week to week. When the card comes out for the pay-per-view, it generally is always good. And even if it's soft, the show will somehow still be great. When they deliver on the big events. Now, coming from NJPW as a fan of myself, they didn't have weekly TV. Like, that's not how New Japan works at all. At all. They just run their big shows, and then in between, they run dates here and there.
Yeah.
In small venues. And it was awesome. That sucked me in, and that's all I cared about. So, am I grading on a curve? Yeah, probably. And I'm probably being more charitable than I want to be. But you know what? Too bad. AEW is the company I want to succeed, because the alternative is when I don't want to succeed. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. That's just how it is.
I think that what and not just AEW, I think any professional wrestling that has weekly television need to do is they need to have seasons.
Duh.
I think at some point you need to just either stop for 2 months.
How about just a roster rotation?
Well, do one of two things. Stop for 2 months, air reruns or air greatest hits, whatnot for that 2 months. Or run your low tier guys who are not getting any screen time at all. Do some documentary stuff.
Oh, you're
not a
asking
pure
a
wrestling
lot.
show. Take that 2 months, let your top stars rest up, reset stories, refresh stories, develop new stories, and then go into a new season and just cook for 10 months and then wrap it up at the end of that 10 months. That's probably never going to happen.
No.
I think it needs to be done.
You're not, what you're suggesting has been proposed countless times, and it on paper, I agree with you. In practice, I don't know that it will ever work. The TV ratings would plummet. Fans would tune out without new content week to week. And the talent themselves, you might say, we're going to give you 2 months off. Rest. Dude, wrestlers are wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they are going to want to go get booked somewhere else.
If you guys want to work indies, whatnot, that's fine. Go do that.
But
yeah, I know.
Wrestler's going to wrestler, man.
So, yeah, I don't know. Things they could do without, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. And you're not wrong.
They could do without Chris Jericho. They could very easily do without Chris Jericho.
On TV, you mean?
Yes. You know what? Even in the company. Because,
I disagree.
a couple of years ago, let's say he was doing a couple of years ago what he's doing now, and they didn't have Bryan Danielson, a lot of other vets back there who could do the teaching and the mentoring and whatnot. If they didn't have that, I would say yes. He doesn't need to be on TV, but keep him backstage as producer, coach, whatnot. They've got so much senior talent back there that could bring along those young guys. They don't need Chris Jericho anymore.
Jericho's more valuable than you might think. I'm down on him too.
No, you're not.
Well,
the past 2 days, all I've heard from you now is, "Hi guys, I'm the learning tree."
Listen, man, I want to hate him so bad, and I did hate him for a while now. And I'm a longtime Jericho guy, but he has been subpar or an embarrassing shell for a while. And yet somehow this guy who got a list and a pen click over. I should not have doubted he was going to find a way to do something else. I'm not going to lie. The learning tree gimmick on Wednesday was I wanted to hate it. I did hate when he first pulled up and he got out of the car. He was doing. I'm like, okay.
When he first pulled up, the same way the Bucks do, the same exact.
I don't care.
No,
just like, I wanted to hate it.
He's literally just doing what the Bucks are doing.
No,
worse.
No. What the Bucks are doing is, they're the jerk producer.
And even
EVPs.
what the Bucks are doing isn't. Started out great and has gotten a lot worse recently.
No, it's fine. When they cut the Acclaimed and they're doubling and tripling down on the EVP running the show thing, which I like. But Jericho doing this like the whole I've done this for so many years and I know how to do it better than you. Thanks. But oh my God, when he showed up at catering and showed the guy how to scoop mashed potatoes into a bowl, I about lost my mind. Because that's the exact kind of goofy stupidity that he's actually really good at, and I laughed.
It's just hot garbage.
I'm sorry, I laughed. Terrible. I can't help it. I laughed.
Bad.
I laughed at it. Sorry.
Okay. So, yeah. Nick, thank you very much for the question.
Thanks, Nick. As a veteran podcast host for the last 15 years, I know a thing or two about good questions. Oh, fantastic. I hate it, but I love it. I hate it. I love it.
So,
pro wrestling.
JJ Samito sent some stuff.
Oh, it's Jay.
We're not going to read it because he's a soccer fan. Moving on. Mr. Alan Waiters.
Wow.
Sent in.
Wow.
He wants us to talk about.
Oh, man.
The learning tree.
We just did.
You're
welcome.
Xbox remaking the original Halo, making it for PS5.
That is interesting. Xbox is not long for this earth, dude.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They're checking out. But to be fair, bigger picture, I don't know that any of these guys, not Nintendo division, are long for the hardware game. I think they're all just going to get out eventually.
Sony's still.
I don't think Sony cares either. I think they might just start publishing software too and just dip out.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking big. Yeah. We're 5-10 years out. If we're still doing this at that point, we'll talk about it.
I think that obviously there will, knock on wood, even though it didn't quite sound like wood, there will always be a Nintendo system.
Some form or another. Yes.
I think at the same time, there will always be a second choice.
Sure.
Out there. Just because
what I mean by that,
void.
I'm not implying that Microsoft and Sony are just going to go to Nintendo. I'm saying the second choice might just be PC. PC gaming has exploded, dude. Not that it ever went away, but it's experienced a higher gain in the last year than any console. Much higher, actually.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, I prefer a console game.
You do.
I don't want to have to update my PC every time a new game comes out.
You don't have to anymore. You don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
No, you say that. You do not. You could buy a graphics card that's 2 generations old at this point, and you will still be feasting on your Steam library and upcoming games they'll run just fine.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. I don't want to.
I'm a console guy.
So am I.
I'm a console guy.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just looking at the way things. I'm also a tech guy.
Yeah.
And what I mean, let me quantify that.
Right.
I am not a bleeding edge. I buy all the new tech guy. I'm someone who I'm a developer, as you know. I've worked in tech to some degree in the last 15 years, 20 years. Oh my God, I'm old. And I watch what's happening in tech, and I'm just noticing the trend of things. Tech is stagnating, dude, and people just want what they want. They just want to play the games. How they play them anymore, they don't necessarily care. The consoles are cool. We're console. We grew up with I gotta have a console, but that line is so blurred now. What's the difference to the average person? So again, this is all long form prognosticating.
Right.
Sony and Microsoft might just look at the hardware market and go we're losing our shirts here on this. What are we doing spending God knows what to put out this thing? Let someone else build the thing.
Yeah.
We'll publish the games on whatever thing and make the money.
Do you think that Do you ever see a day where Sony or Microsoft maybe take a page from Nintendo's book and kind of downshift the horsepower a little bit of their systems?
No. I think they would get out entirely before they did that.
Okay, cool.
My opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. And you said, was Cyclops the best X-Men and X-Men?
Yes. Yes. I'll put it this way. He got the biggest glow up.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You got the biggest glow up. The best? I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler got some shine.
Held the team together.
Certainly memorable in the time he had, but Cyclops definitely got... Boy,
he got a shine.
He got a lot of focus, and he got a lot of shine.
A lot of Capcom influence there. You're welcome. Okay. Tim Book.
Welcome to the show, Tim.
Who is the best wrestler in the world, and why is it Roman Reigns?
See, I'm not even going to go there with that.
So
thanks for writing in, Tim.
I think the best wrestler in the world currently, I'm not going all time because I don't think you can do that. I think it's between two names. I think it's between Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson.
Danielson's on that all-time list that you don't want to touch, just so you know. Ospreay currently...
I'm talking about currently doing it right now.
Ospreay's certainly up there, definitely. And this is not a... Look, I'll recognize talent wherever it is. I don't care.
Right.
Roman's not even the top guy in his company, much less the world, okay? And I am a Roman hater, actually. But I will give the guy credit. He's got presence. He's got size. But he does have amazing in-ring storytelling ability. So I'm not going to take it away from him. I would actually love to see him against a top guy because I think it would bang for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't want to see that match in WWE at all.
Also, credit to the guy didn't he beat leukemia like twice?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. His toughness is not in question.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, right now, it's really hard not to say Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world. Like, I say this as an unabashed Kenny Omega mark.
Right.
Kenny Omega and Okada for that matter. I mean, God, the both of them together, especially. They showed me things in a wrestling ring that I consider myself lucky to be alive in the era that they are in, to have seen the things that I've seen with those guys. And Ospreay, it might be on a higher level than that. He just might be, because every time I see an Ospreay performance, dude, it's like somehow he finds a way to just take it to another level that leaves me completely baffled. So, yeah, Ospreay might be it right now.
So, just really quickly going back in the AEW, I know the prevailing thought process was put the belt on Ospreay.
Yeah.
At All In London.
Yeah.
You're going to hate this.
No, I might not.
You're going to hate this.
You don't know where I'm at.
I think you just do the Cody thing with Ospreay.
What's the Cody thing?
I think
you let him go to WWE.
No. I think Swerve goes over at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what would you rather see at All in London?
In London,
would you rather see Ospreay Swerve for the title?
Who goes over?
Or would you rather see Danielson Ospreay 2? Wait. Swerve MJF for the title.
Well, here's the thing.
Ospreay wait a year to the next All In.
Considering, if you assume that All In is going to be an annual thing at Wembley, and if Ospreay can stay healthy, so you never know.
Yeah.
Then, you make him wait. I mean, why rush, right? He's going to be hot. Again, I just said he's probably the greatest wrestler in the world. He's probably still going to be that a year from now.
Yeah.
I could make the case where given timelines of where things are,
I think either way, Swerve should go over Ospreay at Forbidden Door.
Yeah. He kind of has to.
Then you either set up a rematch for All In, or you do Danielson Ospreay 2 at All In, and then next year.
Well, actually, Carl, the way things are shaping up, I'm going to spitball this at you. We're getting a lot of wrestling into this hour.
Yeah. Sorry, Adam.
That's fine. It's fine. Did you see Danielson's promo on Dynamite?
Yeah.
He's not long for the wrestling world, allegedly.
Full time.
He also loves to lie. Just FYI.
Yeah.
He loves lying. He, as self-admittedly has said, he loves to lie.
Right.
Learned it from Cody, he also said. But I'll take him at his word that he's winding it down. You give it to Danielson wins the Owen, and he wins the title at Wembley. So Danielson, Swerve, Wembley.
Then you make Ospreay wait the year.
Make him wait the year. Yep. He's still going to be hot. You build him through the whole year. You build him up. You build him back up over the course of a year.
Danielson probably doesn't hold it long.
No.
MJF takes it.
Sure.
I think you got it.
Actually,
I actually think it.
There you go.
You got to get it back on MJF. More importantly, right now than getting it on Ospreay.
Yes. That's fine. But I think a Danielson reign has to happen.
Yeah.
Has to happen. I know Danielson's in this period in his career where he just feels like he
loves losing.
He loves to lose. But you know what? If I'm Tony Khan, I'm not. But if I were, and knowing him and the fanboy that he is, the legacy of the AEW title,
he wants Danielson's
name has to be on that. It has to be. It has to be. Even if he doesn't want it, I'm Tony. I'm saying I don't care. I'm booking you as the champ, even if it's for a day.
Yeah,
you're winning the title. You can retire it the next night, but you're going to get the title.
Oh, what if he lost it to MJF in a sequel to the Iron Man match?
There you go. See now, hey,
Tony,
you just said what if? I actually think that might be what they're going to do.
Yeah, that'd be great. Tony, listen to us and fix tag division.
And
remember tag teams.
Retire some belts while you're at it.
Yeah.
Too many belts.
Next is John Fiden.
John Fiden. Yeah.
Fiden. Mm-hmm. Okay.
John, how you doing, buddy?
If you could make any movie into a video game, what movie would you use?
Ooh.
Mine's easy. Big Trouble in Little China.
That lends itself, for sure. Wow, I wasn't prepared for that. Any movie into a video game. Wow. I'm struggling because I'm trying to think of games or movies that have not yet been made into games that I enjoy. Looking around the room, do I have any movie? No, I don't.
The Big Lebowski.
What would that even look like?
Kind of like Animal Crossing, but you don't really do a lot.
As long as there's a bowling mini game, we're good. We're okay. Wow, that's pretty wild. Give me the what the hell? Give me a Crow video game that we never got.
Okay, there we go.
Make it could it be, I don't know, a classic beat 'em up, or do we want to go more, Batman 89, Sunsoft Batman 89 vibes?
Sure.
There you go. Give me that.
Yeah, Genesis version though.
Get out of here. No, it's not. Stop it. Moving on.
Okay, if you could make any video game into a movie,
now I'm adding it.
What would it be?
Oh, come on, Eddie video. I think we may have addressed this before. Give me Metroid, or give me Death.
Give me Super Dodgeball.
Super Dodgeball as a film.
Yeah,
sure. Sure.
I know we've had Dodgeball. I want Super Dodgeball.
Exclusively Super Dodgeball.
Yeah. Or you know what? Give me a good Ninja Gaiden film.
I would have to look into my Ninja Gaiden. Gaiden? canon to see what's there. I will say, as a game, that was one of the first kind of cinematic games I can remember.
Yeah.
Between levels, you had those cutscenes, and that was pretty revolutionary for the NES. So,
Yep. Okay. What is your absolute favorite video game movie of all time? Just say Super Mario Brothers or Mortal Kombat.
Those are the easy answers for sure, because they're probably the best made. And the nostalgia beast in me would say Mortal Kombat, just because it hit the right note at the right time.
Yeah. It was a good video game movie when
such a thing was
decades off.
Right. And I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah.
As a movie, the Mario Brothers movie is far better. But
I think Mortal Kombat is good.
It's what it is.
Its visual effects are dated. Even by the standards of when it was made.
Sure.
But I think for what it is trying to encapsulate and to represent, I mean, it's definitely got some sins that it commits. Sub-Zero and Scorpion not fighting each other.
Big miss there.
Number one on the list.
Yeah.
I would say the original Mortal Kombat's a good movie.
That Scorpion Johnny Cage fight, buddy.
Oh, God.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
I think mine is a film that I've championed for a very long time, and that is Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Look it up, watch it. It's freaking incredible. What is your favorite movie video game of all time? He's given us two sides of each coin.
Wow, we've got props to John for bringing the consistency and the theme to the question here. Favorite movie video game.
Here are the ones that are immediately springing to mind.
Okay.
Star Wars Arcade.
Which, the OG?
Yeah, the vector
graphics?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yep, yeah.
Batman, for me, Genesis version, because it actually depicts the movie, unlike the Nintendo.
Which one's more fun, though? Anyway.
I play both.
Yeah, no.
Batman and Genesis.
It's okay to be wrong. Go on.
Super Star Wars trilogy. Pretty good. Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Sure.
Movie video games were always tricky because it was either feast or famine.
Usually famine, because they were usually quickly licensed garbage. Everything you've said, sans Batman, is dead on. That Wolverine Origins game, that movie was terrible.
But
the game was good.
The game was awesome.
Pretty good. That might be the one.
Oh wait, no, I know what it is.
Oh,
Street Fighter the movie.
Arcades. Get out of here. Leave.
That's great. I'm good. You know, I'm going with the Star Wars original arcade game.
Okay,
fair. I love that game.
Selfishly, I love
the Death Star so many times.
As a kid, I'm not saying they're good games, but the Temple of Doom game from the arcade sticks in my brain. It wasn't a good game, but it had audio from the movie, and that as a kid blew my mind. I
believe Nate Lockhart, please tell me if I'm wrong or not, I believe the Star Wars arcade game was the first.
It also had audio from the arcade
to
from the movie.
Use like film audio.
Yeah,
in
it did. And then similarly for a similar reason, but the game itself, I should probably just pull up on MAME and see if it's any good at all. The Return of the Jedi arcade game,
the speeder bike one, the 3/4 view one.
Yes, was it just the speeder? Was that all it was? No, there was the Millennium Falcon and the Trench Run too. Well, not Trench Run when they go inside. It was both.
Yeah. So if you get the one arcade 1-up, the Star Wars cabinet, you get the classic Star Wars one. You get there was an Empire Strikes Back vector graphic one.
Didn't know that. Okay.
And you get that Return Jedi one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid little trilogy there.
Yeah. So good set of questions. I suppose we'll do Jay's questions. know he likes soccer and has questionable personal hygiene.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Wow.
I am what you made me, Drew.
Oh my God, this is so weird.
Drew and Carl.
Hi.
If there was a biopic about your lives, who do you want to play you in a movie? I think we've been asked this question a couple times. So I think Jack Black for me.
For you?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, you are me now.
What? You're Jack Black or Kevin Smith? It's gonna play him.
You're much more Smith than Jack Black.
Okay.
Just so you know. Just vibe wise.
My vibes change. I'm a vibe chameleon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it's obvious. It's got to be
Dennis Leary.
It's got to be Dwayne Johnson, of course. I mean, who else? Really?
Okay, Jay's question, Drew.
Yes.
Who would be your top 3 dream matches you'd want to see? Wait, hold on a second.
That's that.
Who
top
would
3?
Be your top 3 dream matches you'd want to see of any guys all time from any era of wrestling? It's only, dude, we're trying to keep the show tight.
It's a wrestling.
Example: Prime Kurt Angle versus Prime Bret Hart.
Yeah. I mean, he just nailed one right there. I would say Angle versus anybody from the current era. Prime Angle versus anybody now. Of course, Steve Austin versus just about anyone, but like Steve Austin versus even. I might hate the guy. I might hate him to death, but they teased it more than once. Austin Punk, when a very big unfulfilled what could have been. And I say that as someone that does not like CM Punk anymore. I still would like to see Steve Austin against that guy. But then again, I would like to see Steve Austin against just about anybody because I'm a Steve Austin mark and I can't help it. I'm sorry. And then, you can get into like, well, what would like prime Jushin Thunder Liger look like against any modern middleweight or cruiserweight junior, high flyer guy? What would that look like? What would prime Dynamite Kid look like against all the guys that ripped him off and basically, completely he inspired a generation and beyond of guys. What would he look like against those guys? What ifs? Those are my what ifs.
I have 2 that come to mind.
Okay.
One is purely for comedy for what the promos would be.
Oh, I wasn't even considering that, but okay, go ahead.
MJF versus Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of what MJF would come up with.
Hogan would be in trouble there.
Yeah. For the serious match I'd actually want to see, you're probably going to roll your eyes at this and tell me why I'm wrong, but I'd still want to see it. Prime Kenny Omega versus Prime Shawn Michaels.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, that would bang. That would definitely bang. And you could not possibly have chosen 2 completely disparate personalities to clash. Mm-hmm. I mean, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
On screen, similar in more ways than you might expect. But, oh boy, at their peaks especially, very different people.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a Kenny guy.
Okay. Carl, what would be a property you'd love to see get a board game made of that hasn't been made? Can we collaborate on a Jaws the Revenge game? There is a Jaws board game, and it's a lot of fun.
Is Michael Caine a character in the game?
No. We played the Jaws board game once.
Okay.
Just once, a long time ago. Maybe, see, it's funny because we played Masters of the Universe a lot recently, and I feel that game design, that game engine is one that you can cross apply to a lot of different IP. Like you can just as easily copy and paste Thundercats over Masters of the Universe for that game. Maybe like a really good like Transformers board game, classic like G1 Transformers board game. I don't know. I don't see when it comes to board games. Attaching a property to something does not necessarily get me excited for something.
That's fair.
It has to be a good game, irregardless of the property. Prime example is Star Wars.
Oh, they'll put their name on anything.
Yeah, I mean, there are Star Wars games out there that I love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, X-Wing, Outer Rim. And there are Star Wars games out there that I just don't really have interest for.
Sure.
Star Wars Unlimited. They just came out with a new one, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and Dice Tower just raked that thing over the coals. So I don't look for properties in a board game. That being said, there was a Big Trouble in Little China game that had a very limited run.
Wait, not legendary.
Not legendary.
Okay.
That had a very limited run that I had a chance to get that passed on because it was a little expensive at the time. Kind of kicking myself for not getting it now. Especially because it has minis in it. Okay. So that's it for the questions. Thank you, everyone. How are we looking on time? It's going to be a longer show, isn't it?
It could be.
Just because you wanted to do last week's questions. I was like, no, let's keep it tight. Let's keep no.
I don't. Hey, I'm here
You're
for
here
the people.
We're here for the people.
No. I'm here for the people. You wanted to just steamroll them.
I didn't say steamroll them. I just said forget them and leave them into the cold voidness of podcast questions unanswered. Jeez, make me sound like a monster.
Yeah, we've switched roles.
What do we want to talk about now? I guess
you're the monster now.
I suppose we should talk about the Acolyte.
2 episodes in. I mean, what do you want to say?
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Once again, we are in the Star Wars vortex, not to be confused with the Jericho vortex, where, it's content. And I hate that word. Yeah. I hate that word, Carl. But you know what? It's just more Star Wars. And what I don't like about it isn't even it. What I don't like about it is how we just have to get into this. Not you and I.
Right.
But that the world has to have takes and this divisive, I don't even know, culture war nonsense.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars. Dude, I don't care about any of that. Here's my hot take on the Acolyte. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind it.
2 episodes in, it's not like blowing me away yet. But you know what? 2 episodes in, Andor wasn't blowing me away. And Andor's hands down the best thing Star Wars Disney has produced in a good long time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold the Acolyte up to Andor because that's not fair. Like, if it gets there, hey, cool, good on you if you do. 2 episodes in, it's fine. My quibbles with it are, overall, I've never gotten into the concept of the Jedi as they are portrayed in the prequels, and here is like the peak of that, I guess.
Yeah,
I still brush up against it, and the weird thing about it in this show, especially, is like they're like cops.
Yeah,
it's weird.
That's one thing that I was kind of bumping up against because you and I disagree on pretty much everything when it comes to Star Wars, or the fact that we like Star Wars.
We love that sweet OT.
Yeah. And we do disagree with how the Jedi were portrayed in the sequels. I was hoping prequels.
Sequels are a whole other topic.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping to see like a more, absolute peak Jedi in that original
let me put it this way: you get them at they're doing stuff, and they're pretty strong. Like when you say peak, I don't know, dude. They're pretty overpowered.
I don't mean just like peak in the sense of their control of the force. I'm just talking about peak like in organizational philosophy, behavior, things like that.
Well, got bad news for you there.
Yeah.
This is more of the same crap.
Yeah, sure. It's not bad. It's not giving me the warm fuzzies yet, but I'm still tuning in for each one. I can't remember the last thing really. I think honestly the last thing that gave me the warm fuzzies about Star Wars was Andor. It just kind of was.
Andor hit hard.
So yeah, we're enjoying that.
You're getting a Wookiee Jedi. Hey man,
getting a Wookiee Jedi.
Enjoy that.
Well, there you go.
And not only that, they killed her, but Carrie-Anne Moss got to show up and be Trinity as a Jedi. That was kind of cool.
I kind of saw. I'm guessing she's going to show up again.
Flashbacks. Yeah.
But I kind of saw that coming. Like a couple minutes in that fight, I'm like, oh, you're going to kill her, aren't you? You're going to do the shocking thing. At the beginning of the show.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to get into the nitty gritty, I'm not. You don't want my deep takes because we don't have time. But my deep. Well, I'll get
you don't want this thing because we're gonna have time. Here it is.
But just if I brush up against, I do have little quibbles that are stupid and unjustified, and like I'm gonna save those. But I do find it weird and philosophically weird, and this is a script thing, and it could just as easily be not written this way, but here we are. The Jedi are supposed to be like peak good guy, whatever, and yet Carrie-Anne Moss kind of like let the bad guy do a lot of bad things to a lot of people that were just kind of chilling at a bar before she did anything at all to try and stop it. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe stop this person from roughing up like a dozen people in this place before you intervene.
Yes,
I'm just spitballing.
Don't disagree with you there.
You're supposed to be the good guy here.
Also, thinking of it tactically, there's something to be said about learning from your opponent.
Oh yeah,
from what they're doing.
Yeah, all you folks in the bar, you're just chum while I learn. Sorry, you might die. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. That just seemed weird to me. I'm watching it like, wait a minute, like what are we doing? Yeah, especially when she could just as easily like force hold her in place. Like, hey, stop it. You stop it right there.
Stop it.
I'm just going to hold you, because they showed later that they do that all the time. Like the Soul was his name, son, by the way, Jedi Master's son, Soul, whatever. Yeah. He holds someone in place like twice.
Yeah,
in the same like just do that.
The guy in the meditative state,
dude. He's got a force field up and stuff,
like a force field.
Yeah, you're right. A force field.
Yeah. So stuff like that is stuff that I've kind of wanted to see for a while. Like I remember when we were, but
it also
when we were going through the original films and the prequels line. One thing we definitely agreed on with the portrayal of Yoda in like Attack of the Clones or something, like he should have been portrayed as a level of Jedi who did not need a lightsaber in combat.
Right, because they clearly don't. Like.
Yeah.
Dude got a force field. He wasn't even awake.
Right. It seems like it's like they're treating lightsabers with kind of like a reverence, like this is a weapon of last resort.
It's a weapon. That's all it is. You can use it. You could not. Like, that's how I've always viewed the Jedi. Like, the Jedi are not just a doctrinal thing. We all use this weapon and we all dress this way. Nah, man. You're just guys who are tapped into the Force. You use it how you use it, and you're still your own person, albeit you walk a light path or a dark path. And that nuance is completely, obviously, glossed over.
We'll see where the show goes.
Could be cool. I mean, cool. I'm my other big, like, well, what's going to happen here? This is 100 years prequel, even, right?
Yes.
Okay,
100
cool.
years pre-Phantom Menace.
My memory is fuzzy. Sorry, but it is, of the timeline of events in the prequels. But did they say they had not seen a Sith in 100 years or even longer? So, in other words,
they said there was a line that the Sith had been extinct for a millennia.
Okay, well, that's a lot longer than 100 years. So, what's going on in the... Oh, we're just going to shrug it up. Okay,
Star
cool.
Wars.
Yeah. Remember when Star Wars was cool and special? I remember.
It hasn't been... It's been longer for you since it was that than it has been for me.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Wasn't
Summer Games Conference Day?
I don't know.
That's just like stuff that's coming out this summer. Nothing like necessarily new.
Animal Well is great. I said that already.
Still digging that?
Yeah, I got. I beat and I'm air quoting, the final boss. Not final. That's just the first phase of the game. So I'm in the second. Right. I'm in the second phase of the game.
There's layers like an onion.
There are layers. The well goes deeper, as it were. So it's fun. I'm enjoying that a lot. Yeah, man. Not a ton on my end. I just we have a interesting show topic that we're gonna maybe tease for our next get together. So I maybe have some time to think about it. But you posited, like, what would Star Wars look like if not purchased by Disney?
Yeah.
That's a deeper conversation, perhaps.
Yeah. It's something I mentioned, Drew. I always really appreciate the conversations we have and the calm before the storm on game nights. Just that couple minutes before everything gets rolling, we're just kind of chilling out and talking. But I was talking with Drew about how I'm reconciling the fact that the more and more I see that things that get bigger get worse.
Well, let's ponder that and table it.
Yeah. So
if that is a topic of conversation y'all want us to delve into, we shall, and probably will. It's our show, so you don't really say in this, but I think it's fertile ground. So let us know what you think there.
Yep. Really quickly.
Yeah.
Along the video game lines, for those of you who are PlayStation owners and have a PlayStation Plus account, the free games this month are two of interest. First one is the AEW Fight Forever game that came out. On release, not very lauded critically. The things that they said were, gameplay was great, but like visual presentation and content were light. Visual presentation is fine. It's fine. It's serviceable. Content wise, I think this is going to be one of those games that, along the lines of like Street Fighter V and Battlefront 2, that a lot of problems when it came out, but they just kept updating the content, and the game is probably in a really good place. They've added a lot of characters. Now, granted, it's downloadable content. You do have to purchase it, but you're getting the core game for free. So that's pretty cool. That's free. Also, Streets of Rage 4 is a free download game if you have not played this game. If you like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, this is the best side-scrolling beat-em-up ever made. Full stop. Like, as far as, like, we can debate, like, greatest and legacy and things like that, but as far as, like, gameplay, the total package of, like, gameplay quality, visuals, value in what you're getting, this is the best side-scrolling beat-em-up ever. And it's free. So, go get it. Public service announcement over.
There you go.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here as we tried to keep it tight. What do we end up at? All right, so we really do appreciate all of you who reached out with your questions, and we will let you know the future when we're going to record. We'll definitely try and get those notifications out earlier so we can get your questions in. But if you want to reach out to us for anything else, you can also find us at thedevilsdupod@gmail.com. If you're enjoying the show and you want to help out the show, whenever we post a new episode, just do us a favor and reshare it on socials. Spotify is a good, easy way to get the show. iTunes. Apparently we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube Music.
We're on ATube, not necessarily YouTube.
Well, there's a distinction between YouTube and YouTube Music.
Okay.
But we are on there. We are on there.
All right. So, yeah. Awesome. Our time on the couch is done for the night. Another great edition of The Devil's Due Reborn.
Reborn and more contemplative.
In the can. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Drew, any final thoughts?
No. Dynamite.
Great. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Oh. Look what you just did. That's a
reiterated verbiage.